already done. 30 seconds to live. I've sent you the kit room info. Bye.
A very warm welcome to all of you. I was going to say it's a sunny morning, or on this sunny morning, but I have no idea what the weather's like outside because my blind's shut because I'm streaming. And we're streaming because it is Gran Turismo 7 update day. Yes, version 1.71 arrives this morning on Gran Turismo, and the updates have been coming slower recently, but this seems like a pretty major update, to be honest. Now, we were sort of expecting maybe there to be some physics adjustments and tweaks based on some of the wording in the previous month leading up to this update. Very much expecting that something might happen, but not only is it the predicted new content, the new cars, the new events, the new engine swaps, the new circuit experiences, the new scapes, it's also a physics update, and hopefully something that does improve the general feel of driving in Gran Turismo 7, despite the game being many years old now, relatively. You just heard from Tom in the Discord, who popped in. He was just sending me some information about an engine swap that you can do on the new Caterham 7 as well, which we're going to get to, of course. We're going to get to the new cars. We're going to show you all of that. We're going to try engine swaps. We're going to do all the crazy stuff. In fact, I don't really know where to start. I feel like a kid at the theme park when it's about to open the gates in the morning. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to jump in pretty quickly. I'm finally early enough for HDT drums over in Australia to be able to watch. Oh, that's amazing. Well, I'm sorry that we always stream so late for you, but a big shout out to you for watching and joining us live, and very much appreciate the support. Thank you for commenting, and I hope you've had a great day at work. 5:30 a.m. in US. You are very committed, Dustin. Also, Zero C001, you're also committed. Fair play to you guys. Hopefully you're having, I was going to say you're having a good day. You don't know if you're having a good day yet because the day's barely began. Hopefully you do have a good day, and hopefully you're excited for this GT7 update. Mono's joining us again. Welcome back, Mono. Great to have you. Amazing stuff. Crazy engine swaps on the way. resident carman Tom Harrison Lord's here as well. Thank you, Tom. I did say to Tom, just jump in the chat if you find anything, because he's been flat out all morning preparing all the website articles for the TraxionGG website, which has all the information about this update, and I've obviously been using that information to form what we're going to talk about in the stream and keep an eye on it. So even for myself, waking up in the morning, I go to Traxion to find out what on earth's going on. So shout out to all of my colleagues on the TraxionGG website for making it the place to go to catch all of the latest racing game news first. So you know where to go if you want to find out more. But it's time. Let's go. Let's go. Plenty more names. Welcome, Rolonso. Welcome, Alpha Beta. 30 seconds till your GT7 update is done. But here we are. And as I say, I'm like a kid at a theme park. Where to start? Well, I think the obvious place to start would be to show you the 4 new cars and to buy the 4 new cars. And then we'll go from there. So before I do that, I'm going to check the Legend Cars dealership, actually. Make sure that I'm not missing anything that I can pick up on the cheap, but I think I've got everything. I've not got the McLaren F1 yet. Don't have 20 million credits. I've got that Di Tommaso Mangusta, and I've not got the Alfa Romeo. But again, I'm not going to drop 20 million credits, so we'll ignore that. So the 4 new cars. We'll start off in Brand Central. I've not played much really recently either, Zero. I got married a month back. There was obviously we're very busy planning a wedding and doing all sorts of stuff. We were at Le Mans for work. I was at Charlotte. I've been all over the place, and I've not really been playing much Gran Turismo. I was also enjoying a bit of Forza Horizon when that game launched, so I feel a bit out of the loop. But that's why it's fun to jump back in and have an excuse to jump back in. So I'm kind of in a similar boat, to be honest. Hyundai, as I used to call it, Hyundai. This is one of the 4 new cars. It's the Ioniq 6N, so the 2025. I believe this is the facelifted version as well of this car. 90,000 credits. 641 brake horsepower, 4-wheel drive. Fully electric, of course. But the real car has some interesting features to do with like fake gear shifting. So it essentially simulates the experience of driving a manual with the sound and the feel of a gear shift. Not sure if Gran Turismo's going to have that, but we're going to find out. Normally, Gran Turismo, you'd expect to have that sort of detail, but also some things can be simplified on Gran Turismo occasionally, so we will see. Oh, massive congratulations, Zero. That's very exciting. Are you stressed about, are you planning it? Are you enjoying the planning process? Or are you letting someone else do that job for you? Anyway, if you are stressed, it's normal, and then it will be the day will be amazing. It'll be so worth it. We had such a good time. Okay, Hyundai is bought, so that's one of the new cars. Then we have to go to Europe and to a brand new brand for Gran Turismo 7. Not in the Gran Turismo series. This car has been, or at least a previous model from this manufacturer has been in Gran Turismo before, but it is Caterham. And Caterham have added the 7 Superlight R500. So this was when the R500 went a little bit mental, and they upgraded the power, put in the Duratec 2-litre Ford Duratec engine, 263 brake horsepower. Of course, it weighs nothing. You're looking in the game at 516 kilos, so the power to weight ratio is ridiculous. Now, this car I'm specifically interested in because for those of you who know that I do real racing and sprinting and hill climbs, you may have seen some videos of a few seasons ago where we raced a Westfield. Now, the Westfield I raced is a kit car based on the 7 shape, so it's a very similar looking car. But it also had a Ford Duratec 2-litre engine, but that one was tuned up to 300 brake horsepower. So this Caterham has 263 brake horsepower. The Westfield I drove, on road tyres by the way as well, like tracked road tyres, similar to this, had 300 brake horsepower, 280 I think it was to be fair. So you're looking at around about 20 brake horsepower more than the R500. But the Westfield was slightly heavier, and some of the suspension and stuff was a little bit more simplified than you have on the kind of manufacturer-backed Caterham. So I'm intrigued to see basically how it feels versus my real experience of driving a few different cars actually, not just the Westfield, that are a similar style to this, that are a 7 style car, because I've also driven a Tiger, R6 and a few other things. So we're going to purchase that, in its traditional colours of course. I'm going to buy 2 of these, for a reason I will get onto later, that you may already have heard when Tom jumped in the chat just before we went live, because this car has an engine swap. So we're going to buy 2 immediately. Welcome, the Italian Jojo. I'm very well, thanks. How are you getting on? Good to have you here. Good luck, Edwards, with your GCSE results. That's another stressful situation. Getting married is a stressful thing to plan, but getting your GCSE results is also a stressful day. So I wish you all the very best. I'm sending you positive vibes. But no matter what happens, it'll be grand anyway. So hopefully it's a nice day for you anyway. But I do remember the wait for those results was so, you're just desperate to get them over the line. Welcome, Kuro. Good morning, Joshua. Welcome to the stream. Oh, I'm glad you're all good, Zero. The worst part's trying to figure out if we're buying a home this year or if we're waiting until next year. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's tricky. Will this be a video, Ed? Not as it currently stands, Edward, but we'll have to wait and see. It's probably going to be a stream. We've got really important, big, timely video projects to be working on over the next few days. So as soon as I'm done with the stream, I'm on to something else, and I need to focus on that for a good few days. So there's a chance that it can become a video depending on how it all is, but we'll have to wait and see. There's no guarantees for sure. Anyway, that's 2 of the new cars. So you've got the Caterham 7 Superlight R500. You have the Hyundai Ioniq 6N. And then at the top here, we have 2 JDM legends that maybe weren't expecting to be legends when they first launched. You've got the Toyota Mark II Tourer, and that's the Mark V addition to the 1997 version. And you've also got the Toyota Chaser Tourer. So these 2 are essentially the same car, same chassis, same suspension, same pretty much everything underneath, but different bodywork and different sort of styling cues. The Chaser's the kind of more sporty version, the Tourer's meant to be a little bit more sophisticated and formal, but they both have 2.5 litre straight 6 engines, 275 brake horsepower roughly. What do they have in game? 276 brake horsepower in game. And they're obviously FR layout, so I mean they're drifting dreams. Turbocharged engines as well. So they're like, chunky, heavy sleeper cars by default anyway, with reasonable power. We'll buy both of these. And there are engine swaps for both of these. So we shall see. I've not tried the new physics yet, Kyle. Or Basuza. We have not tried it yet. But I can tell you what they're going to be. So I can give you a little bit of a rundown. Most of the physics changes are focused on not just the tyres, but basically the way the car brakes traction. So there have been suspension tweaks. There have been tire modeling tweaks. So I can give you the specifics as well. So in terms of tire behavior, it's basically when the tires lose traction, there's meant to be a different feeling that you get through the car, through the physics, through both the tires and the suspension. So they also wear differently, they heat differently. The grip off track is apparently different from the tires as well. Plus you have a reworked suspension modeling. So I don't know how this is all going to feel, of course. This is just what I've read about. So it looks like a major twist, or a major update, I should say, to the physics, and it sounds like a big deal. We're going to see, obviously, if I can perceive anything on my go this morning. But yeah, suspension modeling changes, and also geometry to the suspension is adjusted as well. You've also got torque adjustments, and you've got assist adjustments. So that means the way that the traction control and ABS kick in is going to be slightly altered and apparently optimized, I guess, to feel a little bit more balanced or realistic. I don't know how it's going to feel. I don't know if you're going to be able to perceive it at all. I normally run with very low traction controller off for these kind of cars, but we'll maybe try some race cars later and try it with the traction control to see what we can perceive. So we're going to give it a go. And I think the best place to start would be to just drive the Chaser Tourer. I will see, actually, if there are any time trial leaderboards, because if there are, we can investigate these. Ooh. A new message. We're not going to watch the racing etiquette video, as much as I love hearing from Tom Brooks. Okay, so there's 2 online time trials with the Ioniq and the Caterham. Alright, excellent. So we'll definitely come back and do that. I don't know if I'll do the Nordschleife one today, because there's we want to get through a lot of stuff. We want to do engine swaps, we want to do all sorts of new events and things like that. So I don't want to get stuck on doing everything. But I will test the Caterham by doing the Autopolis shortcut course time trial. So we'll get back to that later. Let's drive a couple of laps then in the Chaser, just to see how it feels. And we'll not touch any of the settings. We're going to go in by default. We'll do one of the new events to try it out. No worry. For all of the information, by the way, there are... In fact, I've not put the links. Hang on a minute. Let me just add links to the description for this stream. But basically, TraxionGG is where you want to go if you want to read all about the patch notes, learn everything about the new update. I'm just going to add a link right now to the description of this live stream. So bear with. Alright, link is now in the description. I pressed the wrong button. There we go. Right. Okay, so there is a new, I believe it's a new race at Kyoto Driving Park. There we go. And it is the Japanese FR Challenge 450. So basically the perfect series for us to try out the Chaser Tourer. 40,000 credits on offer. Little AI race around Kyoto. Only 2 laps, so it'll give us a very short feel. But let's do it. Yeah, this is the other thing. So that all I talked about there at the beginning were the kind of handling physics-based tweaks and the suspension, the tire model, things like that. But of course, with torque changes and everything, there are also new balancing issues to be addressed. So because the physics are different, it means that all the target times for all of your events are now tweaked. So your license tests and your gold medals and all these things will be tweaked. Music Rally as well, a bunch of other stuff. And also it means that the BOP will be shifted. So because each of the cars now has a different kind of performance feel and will actually perform differently. So there's a BOP adjustment. And of course, with these big updates also comes a performance points adjustment. So some of the cars that you may be perfectly tuned to fit into a series at 600 pp or 599 pp, they will now be 592 or 612. So you're going to have to readjust all of those little things to make your cars fit into the categories you want them to fit into again. Okay, we're jumping straight into this. First running of the day. We'll hope that the car and the hardware actually works. It's set up properly. Okay, well, my H pattern's not working. That's a good start. We'll come back to it. Let's also just turn up the volume of this as well a little bit. Just going to bring up the car sounds for you guys. Okay, we'll see if this is better. Let me know if it sounds okay when I start driving again. I did do this yesterday, but I think I was maybe driving a very loud car. So hopefully this is okay now. Right, we'll give it a go. Might be too loud now. Right, we've got no traction. So we're not going to test the assist right now, I just want to make sure that we're all off so I can see how the car feels when you start to lose traction. I'll show you the car from behind as well. Turn off my indicator. We do have ABS though, you can see there. But with 276 horsepower, we should be able to get the rear of this car moving around, out of some of the slower corners, just about. With a little bit of encouragement, let's say. But it's going to take a little bit of time, of course, to kind of form thoughts on any changes. So we're setting it into the corner. I'm going to nail the throttle in second gear. Okay, that was only a very, very small rear traction loss, so we're probably going to have to tune the car more, which we will, of course, do. There's engine swaps available as well. And then we can really have a bit too much power on the car and we can really get a flavour for it. Turn it into a drift spec machine. That all feels at a very small level, just where you're getting a tiny bit of rear end loss. It all feels very natural, which is nice. Again, try and like force it a little bit. But no, we just don't have the power to really drive the car on the rear end in this race. You can have a wee listen to that 2.5 litre straight six. All feels fairly chill at the moment, I would say. There's the Mark II. So, sort of to give you a comparison. So I'm driving the Chaser. The one on the right is the Mark II. So as you can see, slightly different styling. The Mark II is like the more kind of sophisticated model for the more sort of formal, let's call it. More luxury based, whereas the Chaser's got that sort of slightly sportier stance, but as I say, completely identical underneath. Interesting to see what cosmetic items we have as options for these two as well. Again, trying to chuck it a little bit and get the weight moving, but it's too sensible. The car's it handles too well. This one does feel like it's on rails, Speedgoat, but it's still understeers. I think with a default engine in this car, you should be able to get it moving a little bit more, I would say, than we're doing right now. But it is just the understeer focus rather than oversteer. So it's also set up, of course. Now if I chuck it in like that and then put the power on it really early, here we go. So you can get it moving slightly. But you have to drive like a proper numpty to try and do that. Okay. Sequential's working. Let's try again. Using the brakes. Will H pattern work now? I don't really want to test. Will I test it? No. I need to set that up properly. Okay, so that's one of the new World Tour or World Circuits events anyway. So 2 laps around Kyoto, very simple, very straightforward, easy to win. Even in the car as it stands. Haters, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, the engine swap for the Caterham is indeed a downgrade. The Suzuki Jimny 6, but they did actually sell that car. They did actually sell that car, that Caterham, with that engine. So we'll get to that. We will get to that. No, the rewards for the winners campaign, I don't know actually, maybe. The viewers campaign obviously runs until the end of August, so you can go back now and watch. And I will actually show you that here, just for anyone who plays Gran Turismo and is maybe unaware. You can win 2 very, very prestigious cars for free very easily by doing one very simple thing. So I will show you that right now, just in case you're not familiar. So if we go to the top right here, the viewers campaign, this is open till the 31st of August. What's it now? 20th, so you've got 11 days. If you click watch program, you'll see that I've already done this. You can watch both the Manufacturers' Cup and the Nations' Cup. You click watch stream, and that's it. By doing that, you're essentially submitting an entry to win these 2 stealth cars, the Mazda 787B and the FT1 Vision Gran Turismo Group 3. All you have to do is just watch a little bit of the stream. And obviously, while you're there, you might as well enjoy the Nations' Cup and the Manufacturers' Cup, but it's a very easy way to win 2 very cool cars. And obviously support the live streams for Gran Turismo series, which is nice. They're very cool. Okay. We're definitely going to come and engine swap the Chaser later. We'll come back to those cars. There wasn't really enough... with the car as a kind of default setup, it felt a little bit understeery. Yes, you can chuck it around, but it was quite lazy, quite safe. And I think the point of these cars is, of course, to tune them up. You know, you're not meant to thrash these around the circuit in completely standard form. You're meant to tune them. So we're going to get to them. For the time being, we're going to try out the Caterham R500 in its standard form before we do anything else to it. So we're going to go into time trial, and we're actually going to just take on the Autopolis time trial. We'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll already have some laps coming in, I'm sure. 113.7, currently the world record holder, Kazuri. I swear I thought I saw Kazuri in the chat earlier, but it was probably someone else. Let's select our new Caterham. We're going to engine swap one of them. Sports medium tires, excellent. Done. So 1:15.9 for gold at the moment, but of course these times will change very much. Times still coming in this morning. 17.4 for silver, so we'll just go and do some laps and see where we end up. 263 brake horsepower, 500 kilos. So if you're talking power to weight ratio, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Now this should be, from my experience driving this type of car, this type of power, this type of weight, we should be able to get this thing sliding very easily. Even on the sport mediums, we should still be able to get it moving on corner exit. So it should be a little taste of the handling differences. Now, I can't do a back-to-back comparison because the car was not in the game before this morning. So it's going to be, all I can compare it to is itself now. So I can't really do a comparison for the car, but I can just talk about the general feel versus what I'm used to with Gran Turismo 7. So with this car, when we get the power down... Oh, I'm still understeering. Hang on a minute. Have I got some sort of... Hang on a minute. Have I got some sort of stability on? No. All off. I did immediately feel a little bit of understeer there. Also, can I get my H-pattern shifter working? Please. While I'm here, there was one other thing. I'm using the Fanatec DD Pro wheelbase with the boost kit. Another part of the update related specifically to this wheelbase, because now it should have full force haptic feedback as well to be brought up to standard with some of the more modern Fanatec direct drive devices. Apparently all you need to do was turn on vibration. It's already on, so I should be experiencing that already. So we'll see if I start noticing some tweaks there. Right, let's give this a go. Should be learning the track first. Yeah, so that you can chuck that one in easily. Bit of understeer, but that's fine. I went in a bit too hot. Too deep into that one, as expected, because I was trying to get it sideways. Much easier to slide this one around, though, than the Toyotas. And I am feeling a little bit of, I would say, additional vibration and sort of road noise potentially compared to previously. I'm wondering if that's the full force taking effect. I did the Fanatec update this morning on the PC, so it should all be working, theoretically, if we followed the instructions. Oh wait, it's the short course. Hang on a minute. Whoa, okay. I've barely done this short course other than a couple of World Circuit races, and I completely forgot where we were going there. There's even a map in the top right, and I still forgot. So obviously we're going to have a play around in this car. We're going to try and set some faster laps, but also just have a bit of fun. So maybe we do the lap time bit first. Let's just get used to the circuit, try and find a bit of pace, and then we'll do some sliding around later. Missed the apex. Should be quite torquey as well. Right. We've got a right-hand hairpin. Let's try braking at the second marker board. Yeah, okay, wow, even that's off the road. Wow, okay, so that's a tight last corner. Good to know. Probably could have got it slowed down if I'd have concentrated more. I thought I was probably going to be going too slow there, and I was actually still going in a bit too hot. The way the ABS has been tweaked, though, it also adjusts the... It's the way the ABS carries into the corner when you start turning as well. Apparently that's where the difference is really made. Try third through there. It all feels pretty natural. It's a good start. Trying to use the rear to get it turned. Not quite. It's just about biting at the front. I think we can brake at the same part, but just brake more purposefully. Oh yeah, easy. Okay, so we can actually brake a little later. It's just a really, really low speed apex. Okay. Yeah, I mean, both cars' turns are amazing. That very good options you've given yourself there. And different, but also sort of similar styles of fun. The Mazda's far more sensible on the road. But then like a Caterham or a kit car of some kind of 7-style kit car is just... I mean, it's fun if you want to, you know, get out there in the fresh air and you don't mind bumping around everywhere, but on a circuit they're just fantastic. That corner's always so tricky. Straighten up the wheel, get some traction, go a little bit more committed into here, and nicer exit. Oh yeah, understeer, wow, you can feel it, you can hear it. The understeer, I had to really back out of that one. Hang of the layout now. Definitely second through the last corner. Managing the oversteer on the throttle. Get rid of the ghost car. Try third in the first corner. That is probably better. Yeah. Much better exit. Maybe try third through here as well. Brake a bit later. Carry the speed in, much better. The lower gears in this car are simply just going to have you spinning up the rears. You can use it only out of the really slow corners, then you want second, but you want to straighten up as much as possible to get the traction. Bit of a late apex through here, and then power on now and hopefully not understeer. Yep. If the rear comes around, you don't understeer, so sometimes you want to use a little bit. I definitely use that in my real life competing. Use the sliding of the rear end to actually rotate the car in that situation. Because if you just don't quite catch it, if the rear doesn't come round, then you just find yourself powering out on understeer. Okay, 15.1. Try another fast lap. Oh, a bit wide on exit. We're going to lose a couple of tenths just by touching the grass. Too early on the brakes. Another couple of tenths gone. I want to be able to feel like I'm dancing with the throttle a bit more. It feels quite on-off in the throttle. When I try and balance the... Oh dear. If I try and balance the pedal somewhere in the middle of the range, it just lacks a little bit of feel of control. It's strange. And I always get, when I change gear, I'm instantly getting this big snap every single time. It's like a kind of little mini correction. Stay on the curb, it's better. Very much similar to my previous lap. This will be the last push lap. Too early on the brakes, I think. And then I tried to go again, which was a mistake. Right here is where I always, on that curb there, you just lose the rear a little bit. Okay, well that's fine. So low 15s for now. Let's try sliding it around a bit and just having a bit of fun and seeing what happens. So I'll be a bit more of an idiot. It should, let's see if it's more catchable basically. Or it just feels, let's see if when you slide it just feels a little bit more natural. That's really the question. Because with this caterham you should have enough power to actually get it properly moving. Not every time obviously, sometimes it's just going to understeer and I need to catch it, but what I want to do is just shift the weight around a bit more. See, it's there. There's still a little bit of a... When it transfers from one way to the other, the weight shift is still slightly sort of... I don't know what the word is, maybe light on the steering wheel? There's a little bit of missing feel on the weight shift. And I don't know if that's something that would have been here before with this car, because obviously we don't know. Don't know if that's anything to do with the new update. And obviously it's sometimes to do with the fact that the steering rotation doesn't go all the way on in game, so it can get a little bit messy in your head about where the steering wheel actually is. I went in too hot there to even try a slide because I just carried away too much speed. Still can't quite... It's difficult to get it kind of unsettled. That was way too much. Yeah, very difficult to judge at the moment for me. I maybe need to go and try something a bit more familiar. In the game, at least. But the Caterham's a load of fun. It's a little bit, like, flighty when you actually start pushing it too hard. Like, I'm finding this car in the game is a little bit more difficult to sort of slide around than it is in real life. Alright, we'll go try something else. Interesting. I'm going to definitely... we're going to engine swap the Caterham as well to have a go of that. And also we can tune it. We can go wild with this one. Oh, that's a good point, actually. What's it like with it? You know what? The ABS might actually be having an influence on that. We'll try that. We'll turn the ABS off next time. What I'll maybe do is put a little bit more power in it. Obviously, we're on sports mediums as well, so maybe sports hards, a bit less grip. Turn ABS off. Let's have a go. We're already in it, so that's fine. Sorry, I was going to the wrong place. We want to go to the tuning shop. And let's stick on some... Well, we've already got sports hard, so we'll stick them on. I wanted to have a couple of little bits of tuning. Bring it up to... Bring it up closer to 290, 300. But without obviously turbocharging it or doing anything like that. .292, that could work. Let's go with that. Bit more power. We'll turn off the ABS. We'll go on the harder tires, and we'll see what difference that makes to the feel. Yes, we're gonna try the Ioniq 6 very soon, Diogo. I'm gonna give just a very quick go of this. I'm intrigued to try the Ioniq though. Should be cool. There is a race. I think there's another new race. This is PP now 584. So I think there's some new races. There's a Barcelona new race. I know there's a new circuit experience. Is there a new race here as well? Yes, the European Clubman Cup 600, which, funnily enough, looks like it's ready for an R500. So that's one of the other new races. There's one more, and I'm just going to find that as well, because is it going to feel better to slide? I'm trying to pick the best car circuit for sliding around. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, that's not a new race. Where's the new race here? In fact, is there one? It might be 2 in Japan. Suzuka might be the other one. World Touring Car 600. Well, the car's eligible, so we'll have a go here, and we'll put it on. Oh, it's already on hard tires, so this is actually perfect. We've set the car up for this race by accident. 4 laps of Suzuka, we can do that. Hey, Boganovic, welcome back. The hero of Tuesday. We did a stream on Richard Burns' rally the other day, which was great fun. But I didn't have my co-driver notes installed properly, which I thought I would have. I thought were maybe going to be there by default. I was in a bit of a rush, and Boganovic jumped on and saved the day. So got us some good pace notes. Good to see you back. Nothing to help here. Yeah, exactly. It just works. Right, I'll turn ABS off. That's a good call. Now I've got to actually think about it with my foot, but that will definitely affect the shifting the weight around. No traction and everything. It's going to be flighty still. Let's see how easy it is to lock up. No, it's actually not too bad. Very lightweight, of course. It's less grip from the harder tires. Obviously, we've not done any settings changes either. It's just more power. Default setup. And obviously, you don't driving like an idiot. It's not what you want to be doing anyway. You want to actually be, trying to go quickly in it, which is something that's a bit. It's more rewarding, I think, to drive this trying to go quickly than it is trying to just chuck it around like a maniac. But you should be able to chuck it around like a maniac. Because it's light though, when it does bite, you do not get as much feeling through the steering wheel. Right. Ooh. If you're full throttle, you're just catching slides all the way through here. Oof, too hot in there. Sorry, Gallo. Yeah, the one thing I'm still not necessarily enjoying is just the kind of innate wobble you get on the exit. Now, I had that before, I think, Gran Turismo, but when you get the power on, coming out of the corners and you've still got a little bit of steering lock on, the difference, the force feedback actually, the difference that's made in the force feedback when you change gears, for example, and you're just not quite getting the traction, it's a little bit abrupt. So it does give you this sort of instability on the way out of corners. That's terrible, sorry. To actually brake earlier for the corners. Remember, I'm carrying more speed and I've got less grip on the tyres. Oh, understeer. I thought it was going to be fine. Slide it all the way through the last corner. Alright, we'll do a serious lap. No fun and games. Need to try and close in a 30-second gap in traditional Gran Turismo style. Let's try and drive it sensibly. Bit too hot through there. Got the line all wrong. Just understeering more than I would hope. But I guess I've just put the hard tyres on, so it's difficult to complain too much. Come on. Round the Xiaomi. Oh, why am I in the same race as a Xiaomi? Massively different cars. One's got so much more weight and so much more power. Excuse me. Look at the car in the mirror had to just literally slam on the brakes on the exit because the traction they had. The Xiaomi 4-wheel drive, all that power can just absolutely fly out of the slow corners. We don't have much downforce in the skate room, of course. It's all about mechanical grip. You've got no real aerodynamic advantage, it's just light. It's all about components and lightness. Do not like that transition from second to third, high in the rev range. Turned into somehow a kind of clean move on all those AI cars. I really thought I was going to crash into some of them. Difficult to know so far. Difficult to know what to call as different and what to put down as the car. So I can't wait to get into like a souped up chaser. Ooh. There's that transition. It's just that I think what it is that the thing that's given me the kind of instability is actually, it's when the tyres haven't quite settled down, so when you're still actually spinning the rears slightly, so you're not actually, you've not actually got full traction, you're sort of still on the edge, and then it sort of grips up from that point, and it's that transition that suddenly, when it grips up there, obviously when you change gear, that's when it grips up, because you're suddenly not putting the power through the tyres, and they have a chance to catch up with themselves. I wonder if that's what it is. I'm essentially just spinning the wheels all the way. Especially out of second gear. If I was just to be a little more gentle on the throttle, perhaps it would be a little bit more chill. Okay. There's a bit of a rude move, but that's fine. It's AI. Right, straight line it, and it should be fine. Yeah. Ooh. Let's try and squeeze around the outside of the Porsche. Excuse me. Ah, should have gone outside of Serrano, because he's now going to drive away from me probably. Let's see. Drag race against the old Hyundai. Oh well, no, not committed. So that's the previous model before the Ioniq 6, of course. Different, very different styling. Different style of car as well, but that's been in Gran Turismo for a little while now. We're not going to catch 15 seconds up though in a lap. Short shift here. Try and be... Oh, you can actually feel... So that's interesting. So when you're understeering, that's the first major, like, let's say, difference that I've absolutely perceived as, oh yeah, that was different to before. When you start understeering, now obviously, one part of it is with the, what I believe are now the full force effects on this DD Pro. I could feel the sort of shuddering there with the tires basically disagreeing, you know, the tires turning a stronger angle than the car was actually moving, so I was understeering properly. And I could properly feel there the tires essentially like sliding across the surface. You could feel that friction and that rumble, that sideways force on the tire. And one of the things was, aside from that kind of full force stuff, it was also, there was a difference to the way the force feedback should feel when specifically understeering the car. So that could also be linked to that. So there's a bit of a combination there. That definitely felt different when I was understeering. It was certainly perceivable. So I can't tell which exact part of the update that was, whether it was the force feedback specific to the DD Pro or it was the general force feedback stuff. It's probably a combination of both. Finally got it stopped for this left-hander, which isn't usually very tricky. Slide it around here, a bit of power. Oh, it's just too... It feels too floaty and too light to really hold a nice slide all the way through, but I guess that's probably realistic, to be fair. It's not the kind of car you can hold a massive drift in unless you're absolutely dialed in and you know exactly what it's doing and you're an expert at it. You just get those little slides out of the corner under acceleration. It's not even going to be a podium, sadly. Nice little fun car to race, though. Very different. Zero. Completely out of the blue, how do you feel about the modern Korean cars and their offerings for the car enthusiasts for today? I think that's more of a general thing about cars nowadays. I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's great to see more manufacturers coming in and making their move. And obviously, the Korean market has been... I'd say not right now. It's the Chinese car market that's blowing up, especially in the UK. But for me, the Korean blow up was like the previous generation, just before this current Chinese car blow up. And I think it's fine. I think it's good. There's some really good cars there, and I don't know. I think some of the stuff that Hyundai have been doing is really good, personally. What I do think in all of this is European car manufacturers are really suffering in general, because people in Europe have got way more choice now, and obviously not all of those cars are enthusiast choices, right? Like, people are buying cars not because they're exciting or because they love cars and because they're interesting, because other manufacturers are coming along and making a product that is more appealing to someone who isn't as fussed about the passion of cars, if that makes sense. Isn't as passionate about cars, is more the way I should say it. And then all these European manufacturers are just missing out because they're no longer the cheapest and kind of most on paper, the most sensible option when you're looking to buy car at number 1, please. 1 times car. So yeah, I mean that's kind of a totally different argument going in different directions from what you said. But yeah, kind of feel as they're equal to the Honda of the 90s. Yeah. Isn't it interesting as well, like how these Japanese cars have become so, from the 90s, have become so valuable and iconic, and at the time they were absolutely not expecting that to be the case, especially with these two that we've got. Let me just sort by date acquired, I guess. So yeah, these two, for example, they were just totally disposable back in the day, I guess, and now, you know, they're actually worth something. We'll tune up the Mark II Tourer in a little bit. I'll just drive the Ioniq 6 real quick because we've not driven that yet, and that's the other one of our new cars. And then we'll come back and start some stupid engine swapping and things like this. So let's jump into a World Circuit event again. It's the other new one, Barcelona. What's the PP level of this car? 513. So we're not going to be mega competitive, but that's okay. In fact, are there any races? Are there any races that we could actually jump in here? 4-wheel drive, it's got to be Japanese, doesn't it? Does it? Yeah, it does. Ah. The Elantra ends in there, but I think that's going to be too quick for us. 700 or less, yeah, way too quick, and it's not turbocharged, of course. Okay, so there's not really much here for us that would work with this car, so we can just kind of do anything. Let's, hey, no harm, let's just try the other new race. Barcelona. See how the car feels. I don't want to tune it straight away. I don't like driving... Oh, we can't even do that either because it's European. Oh, dear. I'm not doing very well here. Maybe what we need to do is just give it a little test run. Let's do some hot lapping of... We'll do Tsukuba. I also could do 1 lap of the Nordschleife as part of the time trial. Ooh, difficult. Difficult. Let's just drive it. Let's just drive it. I can always come back and do that later. Okay, so this is the thing. So does this car have... Okay, it does. So this is a fully electric car, but it has gear changes. No ABS, of course. 4-wheel drive, so it's a bizarre car to drive immediately. It is planted. It obviously feels quite heavy, but not crazy heavy. Heavy compared to the Caterham. Now I think what I'm going to be interested by is if I'm to say stay in a high gear, theoretically, even at low speed, it should still accelerate at the same speed, right? I don't quite know how the technology works, but let's go to 8th gear. And let's see. No. Okay, so it does actually work. It does actually work. Look, 8th gear. Nothing. So you do need to be in the right gears. I wasn't quite sure on how much this technology would simulate the performance of a regular petrol-powered manual car, and how much of it was just kind of for the experience of driving, but actually not really making much difference. But clearly, you got to treat it like a regular manual. It sounds quite good. Not the most exciting thing, but of course, let's take a look at our torque distributor, because that is going to change things. Four-wheel drive, it's quite neutral at the moment, but if we... Oh, hang on a minute. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. Right, so we can go put all the power, all the torque to the front. So we'll try that first. I've got no performance. Absolutely nothing. And then we put it back to 50-50. I mean, whoever puts all the torque to the front, by the way, just saying. But 50-50 and suddenly back comes the performance. But then the interesting bit, of course, is going all the way rearward. So, 100% to the rear. Performance stays. Let's just see what happens out of the corner. Okay, well, nothing out of that corner. Yeah, no power at all at the front, which is interesting. I just wonder if that's just like some sort of, you know, override system in the car. It just can't, the front can't handle more than what it already has at 50, so you just basically are losing power from the rear. So can you actually slide this thing then with rear torque distribution? Okay, well that was a slide. I would not call that in any way a good drift, or a drift of any kind. It was a slide. So let's just get it, try and get it turning. Still got lots of grip. I'm on sports hards. Okay, so it does slide easier, definitely. You can see it there a little bit. Not crazy, it's not suddenly turning into a drift machine. Still too much grip, I think. Maybe Tsukuba's not the best circuit for it, but you can drift around Tsukuba with a drift car, so... Interesting, so you can slide it. It does go rear-wheel drive, but it doesn't immediately turn it with no upgrades. And no tuning into like a, you know... a natural drift machine, let's say. Just makes it a bit more fun. Hear the tires screaming away. We weren't sure if this was all going to be simulated properly as well, so it was interesting. And I don't know if it is. I need to do a little bit more research on this car and how the gearbox actually works and what, you know, physical differences are made. Is this exactly what it's like if you were to, for example, put the torque all the way forward? Now, Gran Turismo 7 is amazing for car details and for the nerdery stuff, but it is also known for simplifying things in certain situations because it's covering so many different cars. It does simplify certain elements of it. Stuff like the hybrid systems. Just can't quite... It's just not quite giving me enough to have loads of fun sliding it around. It's just not quite right. So there you go, anyway. Really cool car, though. I think this is a really interesting car. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Thank you, Terj. I mean, while we're on the subject of plugs... we do now have a merch store. And I've just realised, it's reminded me, I have a cup of coffee that I have not finished. Can you even see that? I don't know. This is really not good stream. Not great streaming. Is there coffee in there? Yeah, you can just see it. There you go. In the light. Oh. Well, now my phone's got coffee on it. Anyway, if you want to buy a mug that doesn't have coffee in it already that's now cold and an hour and a bit late, you can head over to shop.traxion.gg and you can buy yourself a lovely Traxion mug, or you can buy yourself Traxion t-shirts, one of which I'm not wearing right now because I'm in full Japanese spec. I need to go and sort out my lovely coffee spillage. Hang on, important. Always carry a pack of tissues. when you have hay fever like me. And it comes in handy. Oh, sorry, my rig's now going to stink of coffee. But hey, look, the mug's still looking beautiful. So in the Traxion shop, you can pick up. I'll show you it just so you can see. Hopefully this works because I can't actually. I've only got, because I'm using the PlayStation. I've only got one screen, so I'm just gonna pray this works. Maybe it's working. This is the Traxion shop. So you've got the mugs and my mug. So it's mugs, my mug, and then my mug with me holding my mug. You've got magnets, you've got t-shirts there you can see as well. Different colours, you've got dark variants here. You've got like a couple of black and grey options. You've got a dark blue one. And then you've got the white version as well at the top here. All these t-shirts I've worn at various points in streams and stuff in the past. But there you go. There you go. Hopefully you were able to see that. I have no idea. Because it's taking up the whole of my monitor. And if you are looking for hardware as well, so I'm obviously using Fanatec equipment for this stream to try and get it working on PlayStation. Fanatec's what I go for anything I'm using PlayStation for, just because I've got the equipment here. I've used it for years. It's been great. We do have a affiliate link in the description. If you do happen to be buying hardware and you're considering Fanatec, if you enjoy our streams and want to help support us, plus get yourself a little discount on Fanatec stuff. I've just realised my light is facing the wrong way. There we go. Now you can see me. Yeah, you can get yourself a little discount on Fanatec stuff if you use the code Traxion5. The information's in the description. And you click on the link, do that. It helps us and it gets you a discount. So if you happen to be buying Fanatec equipment anyway, just thought I'd let you know about that. And there's a mutually beneficial way of doing it for you. But that's all I'm going to say on stuff like that. You can, of course, also just buy Fanatec stuff off your own bat. You don't need to support us. You do not need to use an affiliate link. But it's very much appreciated. All right. Oh, you didn't see the shop? Ah, well. Anyway, shop.traxion.gg is what you can go to, and you will see the shop. Now it's just a picture of me. Right. What we got? So the RA272 feels snappier on oversteer, maybe a little bit more understeer. Interesting. So the reason that's interesting, Penzoni, is because that's kind of what I felt about the Caterham. But it's not a car I can compare to pre-update. So the Caterham also, I was noticing, was a little bit understeery, a little bit too understeer for my liking, but then you think that's default setups and stuff. But then when you lost the rear, it was very lively. Now that car should be lively. So there's a difficult thing there, and I kind of thought, okay, well that could be down to the car. Not necessarily good or bad, it's just that's what it is. But it's interesting to hear that similar feedback for the Honda. Shall we do some stupid engine swaps? I'm well up for some stupid engine swaps. Now, we do have a list of engine swaps available, so I'm going to show you the cars that we can engine swap. You can do the Mercedes-Benz 300 SEL 6.8 AMG, so that is your, what's that, the greengrocer? Let's see if I have these. I'm not going to do every engine swap, I'm just going to pick a couple. I actually don't have it, you know. That's interesting. Okay, I don't have the old Merc. So anyway, that's one of them. You can also do the SLS. Again, I don't have it. Wow, I'm really lacking. So you can do an engine swap on the 2010 SLS AMG. You can also, of course, do the engine swap on the Caterham, which we're going to do. In fact, let's do that one now, before we get onto the rest of them. So we're going to do it to the car that the standard car, because we bought two of these. GT Auto. you can lay swap a Unimog. Oh wait, it may be because I'm in Mercedes bet. Sorry, Diogo, thank you. Sorry, the comments were gone when I needed your comment when I was looking through it, and I'd hidden them because I was looking at the engine swaps. Sorry, I will go and check that. I thought I owned some of those. Engine swap, 109,000. So this is the interesting one we're going to start with. So the Caterham 7 Superlight R500, it's got the 2-litre Ford Duratec engine. However, for 109,000 credits, we can put in the R06A Jimny engine, and look at the difference. We go down from 2 litres to 660 or 658 cc. Yes, we get lighter, but we get a turbocharged 63 brake horsepower Jimny engine. But this was actually an engine that they did put in the Caterham 7 in real world. You can get the Caterham 7 170 or the Caterham Super 7 600. So this is a real thing. Now, this is the 170, but obviously you can probably tune this. So let's just see what it does. $100,000 to make this a K car. Or a key car. Here we go. Let's see if we've got any other things we can do. And I will also look at custom styles as well, see if anyone's already put in a custom style. L27, swap my Unimog, very nice. Okay, so you can get rid of the badging. I mean, that's actually, I'd say that's more... See, that makes it look a bit racier now. But we're not, to this version, we're not going to do that. We want the standard one. So I think we stick with standard parts for the front. Oh yeah. We can simplify this a little bit. We'll go Type A on the side. Now you definitely want the little... Well, you definitely want the little cover, but we'll get rid of the Superlight R500 because this is no longer... We're going to debadge it because it's no longer an R500. We'll make the other one look more racy so we can tell them apart. And let's just see if... I should have changed the wheels as well, you know. I'm perceiving a little bit with the full force so far, to be fair. Mainly when I'm like it's road surfaces, it's vibrations, it's when you're understeering, you really do feel it. But nothing crazy, like nothing that's making me go, oh wow, this is different league. It feels like the same game. I've just not really had much. I've not had enough time really to fully explore it yet. Let's see if anyone's done a Caterham livery yet. What do we do here? Want styles? Oh yeah, we've got liveries. We've got JPS Lotus, Dark Satin Blue. Already plenty of people submitting things. Now, we'll go with for the 600cc. Oh, look at that. Lotus Super 7. Very cool. Good to see people already having fun with this. Oh yeah, we stick the Fireblade livery on that. I like it. It's not got the right engine though, so it's not got the Fireblade engine. So anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just having a look at the liveries. Let's just stick on. We'll go the classic racer Caterham. Let's just do that. Now we should be able to. We'll give it a like anyway, because it looks good. If it's our collection, that should be us able to add it, right? It's been I seem to constantly forget how I'm doing things on this. Wrong one. Wrong one. Back you go. We'll go and have a look for those AMGs as well. Or for the AMG. Here we go. Ah, interesting, yeah. So, Gregor Meister, I've only driven really the light cars. I actually did feel that I liked the feel of the Chaser early on. It felt quite weighty, and it was alright, but it just didn't... The car wasn't handling the way I quite wanted it to. Whereas the Caterham was super light anyway, so it's difficult to really judge in a short space of time. It's been a little while as well since I've been playing this game on wheels, so I don't have maybe quite as fresh a comparison to make. But it's good that you feel better. So I'm also running the DD Pro with a boost kit, and I'm glad everything feels better for you. Definitely more granular, more detailed. That's why I felt as well. And there's kind of more surface vibration, and you get those kind of higher frequency moments more clearly through the wheel. So we've now got our 63 brake horsepower 7 Superlight. So just to show you a difference, I mean, if we go and we're 418 performance points. So we need to take on something middling. Like, for example, a racer in Brands Hatch. It's probably going to be too short. Let's try it anyway. Let's see how this differs with the engine swap. So we've spent over 100 grand bringing this car down from 290 horsepower to 63 brake horsepower. So, let's see. See how it feels, see how it sounds. I didn't even drink any coffee a minute ago. Oh, yes. Okay. I'm on sport hards. Flat out, basically. Can't pick up any speed up the hill. We can be very late on the brakes, though, because, of course, it's actually lighter than it was before. We've still got the same grip. All the same parts. It's just the engine. Carry loads, theoretically, of corner speed. And then just hope we can hang on in the straights. Oh, side-to-side contact with the Clio. And this is where I'm going to struggle. Come on. Ow. $90 miles an hour. $100 grand, well spent. Oh yes, we've got one. Come on. I mean, these cars to race in real life, just so much fun. Not just to kind of sprint. Like I was talking about, obviously the Westfield I was driving, which was much more like the kind of standard R500 than this, but the lower powered Caterhams for circuit racing, incredible. Now I, for context, was actually commentating at Knock Hill. I was doing circuit comms for Knock Hill just last weekend actually, and it was the Caterham Superheader. So there were 4 Caterham Academy Championships racing. There was the Caterham Academy, there was Caterham Road Sports, and then there was also the Caterham 270R and 310R Championships. Now those cars all have a lot more power than this. They've got the kind of Academy Championship has 130 brake horsepower, 1.3 litre turbocharged engines, and the other championships all ran the 1.6 litre Ford Sigma engines, but with different levels of tuning. So anywhere from 130 horsepower to 155 for the different championships, and they all had different modifications made to what is essentially a road-going Caterham. But the racing was absolutely phenomenal. Like if you go on YouTube and watch any of the the Caterham races from Knock Hill last weekend on the kind of Caterham YouTube channel, I think more than half of the races came down to less than 1/10 of a second over the line. Generally speaking, it was like 200ths of a second, 300ths of a second for the win. Lead changes all the time. It was absolutely epic. Okay, I'm going for it. Sorry, Merc. Oh no. Momentum, momentum, no! No, that's it, it's over. But it's such fun cars to race. Boganovic, is it worth getting a PS5 because of this game? Really tricky, really tricky. I would say I got my PS5 because of this game, back when this game launched, because Gran Turismo has always meant a heck of a lot to me as a franchise, and Gran Turismo 7 promised to be the return to sort of the halcyon days, the good old days of sport mode on Gran Turismo. And I think it didn't live up, in terms of the offline single player campaign experience, it did not live up to those older games. The PS5 has been worth it to me because not only have I played Gran Turismo 7, but since then I've gotten more PlayStation games, and I've really enjoyed other games that are PlayStation exclusive, playing with my wife, for example. And it's been really fun, but is it worth now buying a PS5 just for Gran Turismo 7? No, I wouldn't say it would be, honestly. However, it depends on where PlayStation go next. Will there be a PlayStation 6? Will there be a Gran Turismo 8? Like, the reason I'm saying no right now is because this game is already quite far into its life cycle, really, Gran Turismo 7. Like, even though we're still getting updates, and it is a much better game now than it was when it launched. It just depends on what's happening next. You would think as well when, like, obviously Gregor Meister said yes, it's worth it. Absolutely. And I'm sure lots of people that play this game regularly would say it's worth it. I've put in more hours on this than pretty much any other racing game in the last 4 years, I would say. If I was to hazard a guess. I still don't know what I'm doing. Do you think this will get an offline patch once the game is end of life? I actually have no idea. You would really hope so. Really, really hope so. We should do some positive engine swaps because, you know, that one is obviously fun and you can turn it into a little bit of a key car. Can you also then tune it? I'm pretty sure you can. So we can then spend more money bringing it up again in performance. So we can put in, for example, a high RPM turbocharger brings up to 95 horsepower. So it's basically just a bit of fun. Put a Jimny engine in it. Then you have a different kind of Caterham. And yeah, it's just cool. I love it. And it weighs nothing. 480 kilos. I mean, how much power can you get from like polishing the ports? 1 horsepower. Engine balance 5. 100,000 for a nitrous. Good sound though. 3-pot. The Red Bull Junior swap is ridiculous. Yeah. Hey, Gregor, do not apologize. Do not apologize for enjoying a game and wanting other people to enjoy it too. That's what it's all about. I love Gran Turismo 7. I was disappointed with the single-player progression style with the cafe and everything. It just didn't live up to what I hoped it would. That's my opinion. The game itself is amazing. There's so much to do. The power pack, for me, has been a revelation. The AI racing in the power pack and the cars you get to drive, the tuning setups make the cars feel so good. So 100% worth it for that kind of stuff. Is it worth buying a PS5 for? That's a different question, I think, because we're so far into this game now, and PS5 is still not cheap to buy in any way. Is Gran Turismo 7 worth getting if you have a PS5? Absolutely. If there are other games on PS5 you're interested in, and Gran Turismo 7 should definitely be one of them, then yes. We have a little notification in the cafe, let's just see. Oh, it's the seasonal menus, okay. Ah. We get a ticket for owning all 4 of the new cars. Lovely. I think we're pretty much there with most of these. There's still 1 or 2 I think I need to get. McLaren F1, 20 million credits. Alfa Romeo, 20 million credits. Oh, I could get that Hyundai now. That's a new one. The N 2025 Vision Gran Turismo for a roulette ticket. We'll get that sorted later. Right, the Red Bull Junior is interesting. Before we go to the Red Bull Junior, let's just try and there's one other one I really want to try, based on what I've heard, because it's mental. So I would like to try the engine swap on the Mark II, because we've driven the Chaser. Let's just go mental with the Mark II. We'll see what visual upgrades. I'd be surprised. No, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm unsure if the visual upgrades are going to be the same for the Mark II as they are for the Chaser, but I would imagine they'll be pretty similar. Usually the Mark II is the car that's a bit more sedate. So let's see if we've got customization here. We're going to do the engine swap, which I'll tell you about in a minute. What custom parts do we have? Okay. We can certainly make it look like a drifter's dream. Probably should have done the wide body first. Oh, look at this. Yes. Excellent. Type B, please. Or do I go Type A? Yeah, we'll go Type A. Silly little thing. Let's get the engine swap done. 2 hours 40 left in the spy hour. Oh, nice. That's cool. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying anyway. Thank you for tuning in, Diogo. Nice to see you again as well. Let's see what we've got then. How much is the engine swap? 500,000 credits. And we could have wide-bodied it. We should have wide-bodied it, actually. It might just undo what we've just done. Let's engine swap first. So what is the engine? Okay, so we go from the straight 6 1JZ engine up to a 4.5 litre, what's that, 3UZFE SC430. So what is that? Like that's a drift spec engine, isn't it? 516 brake horsepower. V8. 4.5 litre naturally aspirated V8 from the SC430, I guess. So that's what... Is that the Super GT engine? No, because that's not a V8 naturally aspirated. What am I talking about? Oh, cheers, Diogo. Much appreciated. I'm glad you enjoy. Should we wide body it? Let's wide body it. It does basically undo all of the parts, but we looked at them anyway, so that's fine. I've got the money. We've got 12 million credits. What's our performance points now? It will obviously be ungainly. 543, okay. Let's see what we've got. Is it basically the same? Yeah, it's basically the same. I'm just going to rebuy all of these. Yeah, we'll stick with Type B. Flatter. And we've still got the wing. That's something. And then we're going to go find a style. They are definitely for the drift guys and girls, for sure. For sure. And everyone's going to engine swap them. Well, everyone that's in... I mean, if you're into these sorts of cars anyway, you're probably also going to be into sliding them around and engine swaps and all these kind of things. Do we have any cool styles we can throw on? Nice, someone's already done an Ioniq 6N race car. I love it that people are just straight on this. Wow. Look at that, yellow chaser, that's fantastic. Mainly chaser so far, by the looks of things. Chaser. These are all wide body chasers. Audi V8. There you go. We could put the Audi V8 on it. That might be quite... I mean, that's kind of wrong, isn't it? But kind of funny. Ooh, is it wide... It is wide body. We could do this. Let's do it. Let's just have a laugh. We're going to turn the Mark II into an Audi. An 90s GTO IMSA Audi. It is a V8, so it kind of makes sense. Don't hate me. It does look good. It looks really good. It really does. I feel like a fraud, but we're going to do it. And it's, again, it's probably going to undo all the... change all the parts I've done. I'm not Gran Turismo fluent and efficient when it comes to upgrades and stuff, because I just go, oh, look at this, I'll buy that. Oh, look at that. And then I don't think about it. I don't like make a plan and then execute. I just buy everything. 18,000. Let's do it. So you've got in custom parts, you've got wings, bonnet pins, tow hooks. Excellent. Right. We've not done anything else to the handling. It's literally just the car with a bigger engine. Kind of trying... Well, do I do it? Do I just run with it or do I upgrade it? This is where you need a tuning expert to come in and be like, buy this, set these to this, change the camber to this. Let's just see if it can handle it first. We'll take on the new... Oh no, the Barcelona race we can't because it's not European. We can, however, now take on a Japanese event. So where's one we haven't done yet? There's a Japanese event we were looking at earlier. Oh yeah, like Clubman Cup, for example. We could do the Japanese Clubman Cup 550. Yeah, let's do that. Perfect. Not done anything else to the car. Let's just see what happens. Oh, man. Oh, it sounds good. Everything else should be standard, but the chassis I think is going to be pretty good in this thing, to be honest. We do have a roll cage and stuff, but there's the understeer. There's the power. Don't really need second gear. Plenty of torque. In our... Oh, no. In our not an Audi Quattro. Okay, somehow I've saved that. That was an accident, folks. Excuse me. Thank you. Right, long right-hander. Understeer, and you just... Oh my goodness. Whoa, what was that? What was that for the AI? Talk about a brake check. Crikey. So it's not really set up yet for drifting, it's just got the engine for it. So there's, you need to go from here and do all the tuning work. Which we can have a look at after this race. There are two interesting engine swaps that I want to show you and try as well, because I've not had a go yet, but Tom was doing some experimenting this morning and sent me a message and was like, I recommend trying this. Bye. So physics-wise, again, in this thing, I do think there's actually a slightly more planted feeling I'm getting in a car that's not been set up properly yet. Like in its kind of, when you're talking about road suspension and all the usual road car bits that would be on this car by default, the car does feel pretty compliant, and also it feels quite. The main thing is it feels connected to, like, how do I explain this? I feel like I know what the car's doing underneath me. It's quite communicative. That's the word I'm looking for, I think. Obviously, losing traction, I can't really do it too much in this thing because it's just, I've not set it up properly yet. It needs to be like a drift spec car, I think, to be able to really talk about when you lose traction. I think maybe we should just drive one of the cars that's maybe more set up for drifting by default, one of the tuning cars. Can't really get it's the understeer I'm getting so much of, but I want to be trying to get oversteer, that's the problem. Wait, we can fire out this corner. No, just understeer. Very lazy oversteer, nothing you can feel there. But yeah, like, there's... I think the cars do feel more communicative, based on a very kind of small sample size of what, and I've driven the new cars, so I can't have a direct comparison. But what you'd expect from cars like those, what would be interesting is actually going and driving something, you know, like an M2 or something like that. That's maybe what I'll go for, because that kind of car I could slide around and have fun with previously. It'd be interesting to see how that now feels, and that actually did feel good before. It's got the power, it's got the handling where it really encourages you to slide the rear out. We'll see if that understeers or if it oversteers, because it should oversteer. If you pitch it in on the nose, your rotation up to a point, but then it's annoying that it stops and doesn't go any further. So you can't quite see what I'm doing. Oh, that's bad. Apparently I've disconnected from OBS, so hopefully I've not lost the stream. Are we back? Are we back? No, we're back. Okay, how long did we lose it for, Zero? I heard a little thing coming through my headset that something was going on, but hopefully we didn't lose it for too long. Just cannot get this thing to... It's just too understeery. I can't get it to oversteer properly. So we'll drive the M2. Get to the end of this race. Ah, okay. 30 seconds. So you maybe did you miss the accidental reverse entry drift around the hairpin? Okay, so we did lose a bit. All right. Well, hopefully that's all solved now. Sorry about that. It's just me trying to get this thing sliding, and I was also talking about the kind of cockpit camera being not very ideal in this game. It works up until a point where with the rotation matching. It's just when you go beyond that point, your steering input still works, but the in-game cockpit doesn't. So it begins to sort of look a bit silly when you're trying to drift from cockpit camera. So it might actually be better doing it from the other side. Okay, well that sounds amazing. So good engine swap. Obviously lots of tuning potential, which is the key thing there, which we've not explored. But even by default, sounds great. You just want to make the car match the engine. And then you could properly make that into a drifting machine. So let's pick something that already drifts. So I'll either pick I don't necessarily want to pick a drift car though, because that's designed to drift. What we want is like an M2. Let's go for that. Yeah, it was terrible. I made it sound good there when I said, "Did you miss that revert?" No, it wasn't good. It was just an accident, almost a crash. What am I doing? Manufacturer, BMW. Let's pick something I know how it felt before. We'll go with the M2 or the M4. We'll go for the M2. And just see how it feels when you're kind of throwing it around. What track's good for this? I think... maybe something in America. Maybe Road Atlanta. Trial Mountain. What's going to be good for this? We'll try Road Atlanta. It's a good fun track. Everything's running to the max. So the vibration function should be on, and that should theoretically give us our full force. Interesting, it doesn't show up as gear shifts here. Don't quite know what that is. Interesting. Right, I want to see how this car feels. I really like the feel of this car previously. Oh, something's gone wrong. Okay, something's completely changed in the steering, so that's completely broken. I can't even save the car. What's happened there? Let's just try restarting. Oh no. Okay, no. Very broken. Very, very broken. I didn't change anything though. I literally just looked at some stuff. Let's turn it back off and on again. That was bizarre. So what's happened basically is the steering's gone completely numb. The force feedback stopped being responsive. It's like a generalized filter. Yeah, I'm gonna have to disconnect and turn that back on again. We'll just try a little reconnect. Don't know if that's a Gran Turismo thing or a Fanatec thing. Let's see. Are we good? Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Bizarre. So, I know that the steering animation doesn't match, but this is a car that you can slide and throw around, so let's just see how it feels. Post-update. Obviously now I've got these extra little bits of feeling and vibration and rumble through the full force. Forgetting I don't have ABS, so let's get used to that. That all feels nice. I can just feel all those little bumps ahead up the hill a little bit more than before. I'm not drifting necessarily, but I am sliding it, so I do feel the traction loss. I get a perspective on that, and then I get a little bit of understeer too, so you can really feel a chudder on the understeer, more so than what you would feel before, I would say. As I was going in there, I was trying to get on the throttle, but I could tell, even just by going on to jab the throttle, I could feel in the steering wheel that it wasn't going to work. I could feel that the front was leading the car out, and I wasn't going to be able to get it swapped around. That all feels nicely controllable. So I'm going to do a little bit of semi-sensible slidey driving, and then a little bit of very stupid slidey driving. Big difference between those two. And I'll just report back with what I can and can't perceive. So I don't know what to do first. Semi-sensible? Or very silly, I don't know. Somewhere in the middle. Let's drive as if I was reviewing a car for Top Gear and had to get some slides on the go, but also not completely wreck it. Let's do that. Somewhere in the middle. The steering's feeling quite light, which is interesting. Now I should have the 4-speed back. Everything's up max. I'm on the boost kit. It's what I'm used to most, I'd say, with Gran Turismo wheel playing. I do also play a lot of Gran Turismo on a controller. But everything's feeling quite, I would say, quite light. A bit lighter than before. There's not a huge amount of weightiness to it. And I think that's different. I don't know. I need to maybe go back to the main menu and see if there's, you know, sensitivity adjustments and like, you know, damper adjustments and things like that in the game. But everything on the wheel should be as normal. Now I do run a low damper on my software when I plug this wheel into the PC. I do run low damper, not off but low. Run auto rotation and stuff like that. But obviously when you're playing on PlayStation, you shouldn't really be relying on PC adjustments. You should be able to change that specifically for this. It's tires, sports hards. Sorry, it's hidden by my face, but yeah, sports hards. Third into the chicane, not second. That's very catchable though. It's quite yeah, I think it's light and relatively catchable. The Caterham was a bit more flighty. I wouldn't call it flighty, I'd just call it lightweight. Power steering working well. OBS is gone again apparently. Okay. Apparently we just lost OBS again, so apologies. No idea what's going on there. Really feel the understeer detail. That's nice. It's not nice, but it's nice that you can feel it. So you really know when you're understeering. Ooh. OBS disconnected and I looked at the chat. Alright, something weird's going on with my OBS. Sorry guys, if the stream is cutting out and back in again, I really don't know what that is. Obviously nothing's changed, I've just been driving. Yeah, I think this is quite a fun one. So let's just try and I'm gonna dial down the sensibleness and just try and be a bit worse and slide it a bit more. No, that's way too early. What are you doing? Absolute muppet. So let's just be a bit more aggressive. Yeah, it's just going in and out a little bit, and I can hear it when it happens. I have no idea what's causing it. Nothing's changed, you know? Alright, let's see if we can get a bit more drifting going. Too short. I want to try and get a longer sustained slide and just control it. So annoying that you can't quite see how far the wheel's rotating. It just looks a little silly. But better than not matching. Better than other games, let's say, that don't have any sort of matching wheel rotation. Whoa! We've pushed it too far. There's a limit, folks. There's a limit. I don't think it's necessarily more catchable. Once you go beyond the limit, I'm not finding it helping me more. I'm not finding it more catchable. All I'm thinking is you feel a little bit more closely connected to where the car is actually at underneath you. So I'm finding it's feeling all a bit lighter. Now, I drove lighter car earlier, so I thought that was the thing. I didn't necessarily feel that in the heavier cars. Like the you know, the new Toyotas, they felt fairly weighty, I think. This M2 feels lighter than I remember, for sure. But what it's feeling is that it's giving me a little bit more in terms of feedback immediately. And I don't know if that's like a mixture of it also because it's lighter. I can therefore feel it a little quicker, or there's like less kind of general noise, or like what I would say by general noise is I mean like general weightiness. There's more noise, there's less general weightiness. So you get a little bit more connection, I think, with what's actually happening. And it's really hard for me to pinpoint how much of that is the full force effect coming through the wheel and changing the feel of it, and how much of it is the physics changes. But it's all to do with how the car behaves in an oversteer situation with tire grip and stuff. When it actually goes like that and it properly goes, it's still very, very easy to lose the car. Like, I'm having to really fight hard to not completely crash. And I'm not suddenly like some sort of drifting hero. I'm still pretty rubbish. So this update doesn't help you become a better drifter, I wouldn't say. And that corner's gonna get me out again. No! Oh my god. So there you go. Good. It's a good test. The M2 competition's a fun car to test it on. You can obviously add more power, you can go stupid with it, but it's just, I think as default, it's got quite a nice balance where you can chuck the car in, use the throttle to get it sliding, and it's kind of a nice mixture of being challenging but possible and quite rewarding, and it's just a fun car to drive. And you don't have to drive it like I am right now, obviously. Like, we're about 10 seconds, 20 seconds a lap slower, but you can obviously just drive it sensibly and have a bit of sliding in there. We'll do one more push lap, and then we're going to go try some more engine swaps. Right, I'm going to focus, and I'm going to let the car slide, but I'm not going to try and drift it. I'm just going to try and drive it like a sensible human being, but letting it move around underneath me, if that makes sense. And in doing so, we'll probably get better drifting anyway, to be quite honest. Okay, here we go. Something fell off the rig. Absolutely no idea what. Yeah, so much more natural, obviously, when I start doing this. And actually, I'd say the sliding is actually better than when I'm trying to force it and do something stupid. It's not, I would not say anything is inherently transformed. That's what I would say as well. It's like some subtle changes to how the feeling is portrayed through the wheel and the communication between the car and your hands, basically. But I do think it's all in a positive direction from the brief little glimpses I'm getting. More communication. But there's still absolutely that kind of possibility for the cars to just, you know, feel pretty ungainly on the corner exits and stuff like that. Right. Stupid engine swap time. I actually don't know what the Red Bull Junior engine swap is. I'm going to come to that. I'm going to do one other thing first. One other engine swap first. Now, apparently there is an engine swap on a particular Mitsubishi Evo, which is a little bit wild. So we're going to go and get our Evo 9 MR GSR, which I think we should have one. I hope so. If not, maybe we can buy one in the dealership. In fact, what do we have? I don't want to ruin one that I've got if I can buy a second one. I'm weird like that. I don't like to tune the cars from stock unless I have like a spare. So I've got one of the Evo 9 and it's got 448 horsepower. It looks pretty stock, but we do have an Evo 8. So let's just see if I can buy one. Hey Acid, welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you again. It's been great having you in all the streams recently. Let's hope that my OBS start continues to work. Okay, so we should... Oh, so we've got 2 old Lancers. We need the... No, that's not the one we want. Hey, I can always buy another new one. There's another Lancer. Where's the Evo 9? Not here. Oh well. I'm just gonna tune the one I've got, and I can always buy another one later. The reality is I'll not remember, and I'll not care. It's just a weird thing I have where I'm like, I don't wanna lose the authentic feeling one, you know? As standard. And I guarantee I will never drive it. Okay. Mitsubishi. So you want the Evo 9, so the iX MR GSR 2006. I've painted mine white because I used to, when I was a kid, go and watch all the racing, and there was always a couple of white Evo 8s and Evo 9s battling with 800 horsepower. We're going to go GT Auto. Maintenance and service. Now, as you can see, we've got 2 different engine swap options. We have a Group B Evo, and we've got the Windsor 351 Maverick. Look at the horsepower. Terrifying. 1,199 brake horsepower, 250k, so it's cheaper. It's a 7-litre V8 turbocharged engine, so it's one of the tuning specials that you'll probably be able to buy, the Maverick engine. What can we do with this then? We can wide body it. Nah, let's not bother. I'm just going to go absolutely mental on it and see what happens. 1,200 brake horsepower by standard, but what can we do to that if we go to the tuning shop? Oh, it's going to sound good. What can we do? None of those upgrades, understandable. We can put on a high RPM turbo, which brings us up to 1,369. Yeah, let's do that. We're going all in. Yes, please. Customizable computer. Get us more power. Silencer's not really going to do... Oh, no. Is that the best one? Racing silencer? Yeah. Let's do that. You may have noticed we're not doing anything sensible yet to the actual car and its handling. We do have racing mediums already for this car, which is interesting. Customizable transmission, that's probably a good shout. Apparently it takes it down, but that's fine. Should we put some... Yeah! Stick some nitrous on it. Very important. We're lacking a little bit of straight line performance. Brakes wise, I don't even know what we've got on this thing, but we should probably buy some good brakes. Might be quite funny to see what happens though before we buy new brakes. What do we have? So I've already upgraded this car. This wasn't even standard. I was banging on about it being standard. It was nowhere near standard. I had racing brakes on it already. I already had a bunch of stuff to this car. So let's just see what happens with this. 1,400 brake horsepower now. What turbo race can we do with it? Can we take on the race of turbo sports cars? Is there a limit? Ah, there's a limit. Okay. I mean, for a laugh, we could put it on sport mediums. Oh, sport hards. There's gonna be no power going down at all. I will switch to the race tires. Don't worry. I'm just curious. I'm very curious. See what happens here. This ain't gonna go well. Well, it actually does stop, but we're on sport hard, so it shouldn't turn. Okay, it turns. It turns. Wow. Doesn't turn at high speed. Excuse me. Excuse me. Half throttle. Well, let's get in a straight up 6th gear, and then we're going to use nitrous. Okay, maxed out. 6th gear, 185. We got there very quickly, but I need to sort the gearing on this thing. Because of the stuff I've done to this before, it's actually somewhat drivable. Don't know what suspension I've got on it. Can't really go full throttle anywhere. Squeeze around the outside, feel the understeer in the marbles. I can feel the tyre pickup on the steering wheel through the vibration. That's great. Stop! I love it when you get wheel spin in 6th gear. But we can definitely change the gearing on this, stick some racing slicks on it, and then send it to Le Mans down the back straight and see what we can do. It sticks, it handles a little better than I remember I did this to a Suzuki Swift. I think I put a Veyron engine or something in a Suzuki Swift. I can't remember, a Group 3 engine. And it went, but it just didn't do anything else. It went forward. Okay. That was predictable. Go! And then you have to brake. Don't need the nitrous. As long as you don't use too much throttle, it's totally drivable. But the problem is I want to use more throttle. Like there, for example, just a little burst, and you forget how quickly you're coming out of that corner. You should be braking way earlier. Alright, turn it. Straighten up. Nope. You really need the nitro, yeah, definitely. We'll change the, what I'll do is I'll see if there's any more upgrades I can make. Stick some better suspension on it, if possible, or anything else. Then we'll stick on the racing tyres, we'll change the gear ratios, and we'll go and see if we can take on some stupid race cars at Le Mans. We'll see what PP level we end up at. Let's go. Bye, guys. Oh! Still didn't make the corner. Hit up the rear by the Corolla. We should get some GT Sport racing in as well, because then we'll get a little bit of a feel for how the handling and physics feel when you're actually in a race situation where I'm forced to sort of focus on lap time and not drive something benign and boring like this. Nope. Anyway, we could finish that race, and we get some more credits for it, but hey. We have more important things to attend to. Let's just quickly see what else we could do to this. I mean, the Lancer just... Yeah, I remember I had that with a... So in Gran Turismo 4, it was the Evo 3 or the Evo 2, was it? That was in the used dealership. That was like such an overpowered car for the start of the game. And then for me, it was the Skyline, like the R32 Skyline. Once I got that car, I just didn't need anything else because it tunes so well. It handles well. It's four-wheel drive. It's quick. It's got so much going for it that you can carry you through the game with the right money spent on the right parts. So we've got our weight reduction. What suspension do we have? Do we have any suspension? Don't think we do. Go fully custom. I'm not really going to bother customizing it, that's the thing. Because I wouldn't know where to start. So we could also stick some height adjustable sport. Yes, let's do the height adjustable sport suspension for now, just because we then know what we've got a little bit. Right. And then we need to change the gear ratios, basically. And then we'll go just see what it can do down the Mulsanne. And then I've got two more things. I want to do an engine swap in the Red Bull Junior, and then I want to see what multiplayer races we've got in GT Sport mode. So, the Evo, Le Mans. Where's Le Mans? Am I blind? Yes, I am. There we go. Is there one without the chicanes? Let's go Hypercar Parade. It's probably not going to let us on racing tires, is it? Oh no, it does. And then we're going to stick up the... We'll take off some downforce, which is probably a terrible idea. And we're going to go with... Let's see what we can do here. See if we can get close to 400. We've got nitrous as well. Actually, let's go stupid. Let's go 440 on the kind of the automatically adjusted top speed. And then for the nitrous, leave it somewhere in the middle, balance, and then just see what happens. Kind of tempted to go more on this, just to see if we can actually get that kind of speed out of it with the nitrous. Yeah, we're going to go wild. 500k. Why not? See what happens. Let's just see what happens. On the Mulsanne. I don't think, because of the chicanes, I don't think we're going to get there, but we can try. Oh yeah, the gears are fine. We don't need low gears. Probably could have gone even more wild. Because we still don't even need first through the chicane. This thing is sorted now. Obviously the slicks help. Onto the Mulsanne in controlled fashion. Right, let's go. $220 miles an hour. 240. There's a McLaren F1. See you later. 260. Sixth gear. 280 miles an hour. Neat and tidy through the first chicane. I kind of want to save it for the. I'm going to save it for the nitrous for the next straight because this is another chicane coming up. Pretty quick. There's a corner there, Italian Jojo. No, I don't think so. I think it was a straight. I'm going to save it for the run towards Indianapolis. I wouldn't want the bill if this thing goes pop, though. Stop! Thank you, Ferrari Enzo. Right, here we go. Come on. There's a bit of a corner here, though, so we've got to be careful. Slightly careful. Oh, breeze. 240. 60. Lift in the front, 6th gear. Oh my goodness, we're already reached the end. No. Absolutely no chance. Yeah, the speed potential is absolutely enormous. Oh, wow. Put it a long way back. The 0 to 200 time on this thing is insane. Like, I've just done from a standing start and I've already caught the Aventador speed by the time we reached the entry to Indianapolis. Don't do that in real life. Alright, one more time past the McLaren F1. Imagine if you could do that. Imagine you could just do that to a McLaren F1. We're out of nitrous. Actually got it turned in for the Porsche curves. This thing is not bad, you know. As long as you obviously are sensible on the straights, you don't do what I did, which was a top speed test, and you brake very early, I think you can actually get this thing in a decent time. Certainly have the potential to win this hypercar race, no problem. I don't think any of them are on slicks though. So it's a bit unfair. Very unfair. Oh, come on. Excuse me. Oofed. Sweet. Let's go test out one other engine swap that I've heard good things about. Do you have any specific real racing category series you wish would be more represented in sim racing games? Thank you for the question, Duchess Sky. Always is the answer to that question. The one I've been banging on about most in the last few years, I probably can't justify, and it's the Supercars Championship in Australia, because iRacing has Gen 3, and now we want a dedicated game for that. It would be amazing. Project Motor Racing obviously has been updating their V8 Supercars recently, so, you know, there's more on the way potentially there. They're looking at V8 Supercar stuff. So there's plenty of games that are active right now who are making changes to their existing supercars. Either, you know, even if it's not the new ones, like Project Motor Racing, for example, it's the 2013 ones. iRacing's got the modern ones. I just love the championship, so that's why I care about that. The British touring cars I always wanted in racing game form. We got that with R Factor 2, and we still got liveries up until quite recently. So I don't know. I don't know if it's too much to, again, like, trying to have a bespoke game for any of these series. I guess you asked you asked for specific representation in sim racing games. You didn't say a specific game for them. So it would be cool to have a few more of the British touring cars and stuff represented. What else? I love, obviously, the old, like, you know, your older GT racing and things like that. That's already pretty well represented these days, to be honest. Race Room does a decent job, but AMS2 does an amazing job. They're all their kind of early 2000s GT1 and GT2 and old LMPs, the endurance packs. Lots of those late 90s GT1s and Le Mans prototypes are actually really well represented in games. So I can't really complain about that or say, oh, and they need to be better represented, because they are pretty good. It's a really good question, because I would have thought I'd have a million answers for you, and I just don't. Trophy Andros would be cool. Some more Trophy Andros cars. That sport in general would be fun to race, I think. Right, we've got an engine upgrade for the Red Bull Junior. We should probably buy a new one. Nah, let's just go this one. Great sound. This is the car that feels the most like a sort of modern Formula single-seater, a kind of feeder series single-seater in the game, even though it still feels very different to what you'd expect a Formula 3 car or something to feel. Obviously, Super Formula takes that crown. Let's see what the engine swap is then. I've been told to check this out. Oh man, that question's really thrown me, because I feel like I've got so many ideas for what would be cool to see in racing games, cars-wise. And now that you've asked me, I'm like, I don't know. It's more, you want the official like teams and liveries and drivers from a certain series, because you want what I want is an offline career mode in a racing game that allows me to take part in these series and kind of work my way through the ladder, if that makes sense. Oh, hang on. So what's happening here? An NSX engine. So we're going from a 2-litre to a 2-litre turbocharged engine. Is this 4-cylinder? So what's this? Is this the NSX Super GT engine? Are they 2-litre? Let me find out. Yeah, I think so. Yes. I think that's what this is. I don't want to call it for sure. It's a HR414E. Yeah, it's a Super GT500 engine. Okay. Cool. I'm really not good on my engine knowledge, like my lingo and the names of engines. 2016 GT500 engine, thank you. Okay, well, we're doing it. I can always buy another one of these cars later if I need to get back the original. That's cool. Well, let's see how that feels. Don't quite know what event I can race it in, so we might just have to do like a little time trial. A Sunday Cup, maybe. Any of these? Japanese, can't really do that. It's now turbocharged, so can we do the race? No, we can't. Doesn't really matter, does it? Let's go for a track we haven't driven yet today. Let's take it round. Should we Trial Mountain? Yeah. We'll do some Trial Mountain. I wish GT added some old DTM cars. Yeah. Good shout, Diogo. Mid-1990s, like, so the class... what was that being called? Class 1 back in the day. The Calibra, the A4, the CLK. Oh, no, you mean like the late 90s. Yeah, so the stuff they had... The sort of late 90s DTM era, or the early 2000s actually. It was 2001, wasn't it? Or 2000 that it came back. That was wicked. The Calibra's older, but the A4... well, the A4's older as well. No, the A4 came after the TT. So the CLK and the A4 were from the kind of early 2000s era into the 2005-ish. Calibra is obviously older, different spec, but obviously was in an older Gran Turismo game. GT4 had all of these, didn't they? And GT3 had quite a lot. Yeah, that would be cool. Race Room is the place to go for those sorts of cars, though. Yeah, 2004 for the A4 and CLK, because the TT was before the A4 came in. And the Calibra's early to mid-90s. different spec of cars. We've got a whole video. We've got 2 videos on the Traxion channel. If you want to know more about those cars and racing games, yes, it's not in Gran Turismo, but we have 2 videos. One covers that early 90s Group 1 era of DTM, when the cars were absolutely ridiculous. It's golden era, for sure. And then you also had the sort of 2002 DTM pack, which is in Race Room, which we did a video on as well. So there's 2 Race Room videos on the channel covering those 2 eras of DTM. If you want to find out more about the cars and the series, because we do some history there, and also about how they are represented in sim racing, go and check them out. Right, let's just have a go with this Red Bull Junior engine swap. Okay, well, tell you what, that's a good start. What I was about to say, and I genuinely didn't mean to kind of combine these 2 things. I was going to say we still haven't really tested the traction control changes yet. Oh my goodness. Well, this thing has got obviously so much downforce, and it's so light. Adding 3 times the horsepower does make it an absolute handful. So downforce should be pretty good. Not that good. Okay. It's been a good start. 2 crashes in 2 corners. Very different reasons. Okay, so the downforce is not insane. It's kind of regular single-seater level. Ooh. Obviously sounds good. Steering's feeling a bit heavier with this one. Good feedback though, when I'm sort of fighting with it here through these medium speed corners. Keep going for more gears. I've not got them. Give me more! Kind of feels like more of an old school single seater now, because it's like overpowered, and you can really get, you know, slide the rear of the car out. It's almost giving me like early 90s Formula 1 vibes. Obviously this car has a turbocharger, and the turbos were banned in that era of Formula 1. It's fun. Be a bit more sensible here. I actually like the way, now that I've kind of given it a bit more respect after the opening 2 corners where I was driving it like an absolute idiot, I'm liking the way it's feeling, you know? It's good fun. Challenging to drive. Let's try a bit of traction control. Curious to see if I can notice a difference here. So we'll go up to 2. Now I want to see if this feels more natural, because that's one thing, the traction control never felt quite natural on GT7, which wasn't an issue for me when I was using a controller. Felt a bit weirder on a wheel, obviously. Let's see what differences have been made here. So if I... Okay. Maybe a little smoother, but still fundamentally a similar overall feeling, for sure. So power on, full power. It's holding me back slightly. Yeah, maybe a little bit more sophisticated feeling with the traction control. Definitely working, for sure. feel like I'm driving a BAC mono from this kind of cockpit camera. The carbon fiber down the sides. Yeah, it's actually a little bit. I'm lapping quicker at the moment with traction, I would say as well. Pretty close together, but we can still get the car sliding. One very small sample size, but fundamentally doesn't feel massively different to what I would expect. But it was working well. Felt like the way it affected the power on the exit felt a little smoother potentially than before. It was a little bit less on and off, and it was a little bit more kind of fluctuating as I dropped traction. It felt like it was more, maybe more, I don't know if it's more detailed or kind of more, what's the word? You know, when you've got more information, you can sort of tailor it a little bit more. Feels like a dog on a lead, basically, being the car. Feels like the car is a dog trying to run away from its owner, and the lead is just working where it needs to just hold it back just that little bit, and then it breaks through. One 43.4. Ah, cool. That's fun. Like it. Another interesting engine swap. But I think what it's time to do is... Oh, Terj, I'm sorry, I've just quit before I've read your question. Is there natural rotation off throttle? In GT7, there can be, but no, I think generally speaking, that's one place where I think GT7 physics and feeling doesn't kind of compare to a lot of the more hardcore sims that you find on PC and stuff. Yeah, and you can obviously set up the cars differently, but the thing is, the GT7 is always going to be a bit different, in my opinion, because it has to look after controller players. Now, most people that play GT7 will be on a controller, not a steering wheel. And obviously, you want it to still feel good in a wheel for everyone on console that has a wheel, which is a lot of people playing this game, loads and loads and loads of people, especially those who are passionate about racing games and sim racing. So probably most people watching these streams will consider using a steering wheel. But far more people use a controller, so the game's physics need to be, in my opinion, always controller first, and they need to feel good in a controller, and I agree with that. As much as it might be painful as a sim racer to say, I think it's absolutely the thing, and I do wonder if some of that then bleeds into however it's going to feel on a steering wheel. They are completely different driving experiences. Playing this game on a wheel and on a controller, it does feel like you're driving a different handling model, but it just works on a controller, and I do wonder if that's maybe something to do with the default setups and the understeer there. Just to do with having that control and being able to actually... what you don't want in a controller is to have to be catching slides all the way into a corner or like fully correcting. You want to kind of be able to be smooth and then just up or lower your inputs ever so slightly, balance the car on the throttle and the brake, and then just kind of control the oversteer on the exit. I think it all points towards that for me. Let's see then what GT Sport races we have. What's the time? 10-1. So Daytona Road Course, BOP, 4 laps. Next race in 10 minutes. Then you've got Yas Marina Group 3 in 10 minutes. What should we do? What's the specified car? Mazda. Ooh, that might be quite fun. MX-5 racing at Daytona. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Come on. That's got to be fun. And then we will do a bit of qualifying. MX-5. Terj, it all comes back to the MX-5. It's the ND, though, not the NC. It's going to take us 5 years to get around the banking to actually complete a lap here as well. Right. Just a reminder, guys, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more racing game content like this going forward. For GT7 clutch simulations are a really funny one. I don't think I ever really use the clutch in GT7. I do when I'm using the H pattern shifter, which isn't working for me right now. And I don't quite know why, because the sequential's working. Oh, maybe it's just the car that you drive. It depends if it's sequential. No, it can't be. Ah, Force feedback's gone again. So that's the second time that's happened today. Yeah, that's undrivable. Point of note, that's twice now this morning where the force feedback has just gone all funky and completely dampened and gone incorrect. So we'll once again turn off our controller, turn off the wheel, reset it. And it's always when we've started a new session, which is interesting. Don't know if that's an update thing. Don't know if that's a Fanatec thing, a Gran Turismo thing. Interesting to hear if anyone else has this issue, though. Okay, fixed. Right, we're on Sport Hards, so it's the kind of... It really will be like a road-going ND. Ah, okay. Is that the update? Okay, yeah. Interesting. So Fanatec, so this morning before joining the stream, before streaming, I did a Fanatec app update on my PC and I've updated the firmware of the wheelbase because of the Gran Turismo update to get that full force, which is new to Gran Turismo as of this update. And I do wonder if that's maybe some people having teething problems. Interesting. Thank you for the feedback, Terj. Okay, shouldn't have picked 6th gear. Where are we going to brake? Oh, this is going to be a good test of the force feedback because you're going to be sliding this car around a bit. No traction control testing. And we've got no ABS on either. But really, we should turn on ABS because this car actually should have ABS. So maybe what we'll do is we'll actually just turn it on to weak. Well, default should actually give us the correct amount. Nah, we're gonna go weak. I don't want to give myself too much of it because it won't actually help us. So feeling the vibrations, feeling the extra forces, but then there was a little bit of numbness there as you understeered. Qualifying not fun in this car or in this track. Racing should be, hopefully. It's only a 4-lap race. So I'm just going to use this to try and learn a little bit about where to brake. But the race is going to be really what teaches us what to do. Brake just after the 2. Nah, it should be way faster, I think, in this car. Or braking later than that, at least. Keep it legal. Ah, interesting. Yeah, sometimes if you change settings... Oh, also, welcome back to the stream, Todd. Good to see you. Yeah, I have definitely... If you change the settings midway through in a session, you do sometimes get those funky things happening. But I wasn't actually changing any settings, which was weird. I did the first time. 217.0. Stay in 5th gear this time. I'm gonna gain time. Oh, that's too late in the brakes. Way too late in the brakes. Still valid. But what we'll do is we'll then hit retry. So we've got a 217. Give it another go. Difficult to know how much curb you can get away with taking through the chicane. Don't want any slowdowns in the race. stay in 5th this time. Right, then we want to brake. Yeah. Understeer, feel it through the wheel. That's a better first corner. Don't know what gear to be in. Now we can brake nice and late for the hairpin. Okay, straighten the wheel up much earlier through there. First few laps always the most important when you're learning anything. Like, you'll gain so much more knowledge from 2 laps than you would from lap, 3 and 4 or 5 and 6. Ah, nice. Awesome, Terj. Nope. Oh, it's okay. I think we get away with that. Carry the speed onto the banking. SRM. I don't have any plans to join anything at the moment. I don't really have much spare time at the moment to dedicate to practicing for things and taking part. But I mean, Ross may well be. Ross always gets involved in RBR stuff. This is the first time I've had it set up on the new PC, so I'll definitely look into things, but it's just time dependent, really. I think for me at the weekends as well, especially, it's going to be, let's just focus on getting through the chicane first. I think the next free weekend I have, or I think maybe I've got one free weekend between now and I think the end of October potentially, so it's crazy at the moment. Right, to the finish. That's going to be our qualifying lap. I'll practice turn 1 more time though. Try 2nd gear. No, it's 3rd. Definitely 3rd. Good to know. Might even try 3rd for the hairpin. Because 2nd is just, you really low in the range. You just instantly need to change up to 3rd. No. Definitely 2nd for the hairpin. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's good to have, oh, it's very good to have stacked up weekends. Honestly, married life is no different for me to pre-married life. Like, nothing has changed for us whatsoever, which is actually really nice. The only difference is we just get to call each other different names. Oh, nice, nice, Tom. F50. Wow, that's a good car to test things. I should have done that myself, actually. But I think we've driven plenty of different things. Like, you can't determine too much from a short space of time, but obviously just natural reactions to things, which is what we've been doing. And yeah, it seems positive. People are feeling happy. I'm feeling pretty happy. Still not in love with how it feels, but I didn't expect to be. It's positive. Okay, 4-lap race. We're starting 6th on the grid, but it's going to be a race obviously about slipstream and staying clean. 2:13.8 is the pole time, so we're 2 seconds off. I definitely had another bit of time in there. Good luck, everyone, in this race. Yeah, good point, Tom. I am now John Danvers Monroe. So myself and my wife share our surnames now, and it means that I am now JDM as a double barrel combination. So THL and JDM. JDM, perfect car fan double-barreled name to go for, really. So I'm gonna be known as JDM from now on. Hey Dot, welcome. Don't apologise for being late. And yeah, we did talk about the physics bits earlier on, and just generally throughout the whole stream. But the biggest change is it comes in the way the car loses traction. So mainly oversteer. So when you start losing the car, the way that the force feedback feels and the car handles is slightly adjusted. It's really hard to pin down a specific analysis of it, but overall it's not just that, it's also force feedback changes. So you've got the suspension and the tyre modelling, but you've also got the actual feedback itself and the detail coming through, which for me is specifically, I get more differences because I'm on the DD Pro Fanatec setup, which also now has full force enabled, so I get those effects as well, and therefore I don't know what the different, I don't know which bits are the full force and which bits are, you know, the update that everyone gets, if that makes any sense. But it's generally feeling pretty positive. I think the cars feel a little bit lighter, the steering's a bit lighter, but you actually have a little bit more detail and feel and kind of granularness, if that's the way of putting it. Right, third through the first corner. Sorted. Then we're going to go second through this hairpin. And I just need to stick with the team in front for the slipstream. Ah, too hot into the hairpin. I think we're okay though. Try and break away from Jean Alesi behind. Is it easier to lose the car? I don't know. I didn't think so. But it's not easier to save the car, I don't think. Like, you still, even if you get a bit more feeling there, it's still, you know, you can still definitely, once you push the limits, it's still going to throw you off. Ah, my force feedback's just, I've lost the feedback. It's done the thing. Mid-race. So I now do not have force feedback properly at all. It's all numb. So this is probably going to end in disaster. I'm going to see how long I can keep going for. Or... mid-race switch. Nope. Nope, wrong buttons. It's gonna be a slowdown, surely. That's the button I was looking for. Anyway. I have no idea what's caused that. It's happened as I'm driving for the first time. But you can feel when it goes. And it doesn't disappear completely. It just, the whole thing goes damp and heavy, and the force feedback doesn't work as it should, and you lose all the detail, and it's just impossible. But look at this, deceleration's going to kill us. So we're now out of the race for the top 5. And we're going to be dragged to the back behind, and I don't know what I'm doing on the controller, so let's try and get up to speed very quickly here. Oh, well that was one way. Hello. Sorry, lads. Sorry. I'm liking all the horns. I didn't even think I braked early there for that first corner, honestly. I think the car behind me just missed the braking point. Easy. See you later, Terj. It is so brutal, Vice. So brutal. I agree. Imagine in real life if your steering stopped working, you could just pick up a controller and drive the car from the driver's seat with a controller. What I'm now going to do though is turn off the steering wheel mid-race. So once we get back onto the banking, let's turn off the steering wheel. Hopefully nothing happens. Okay. Calibrating. We're back in business. Go for the switchback. I really don't like how you don't have a rear view mirror. I hate that you don't have a rear view mirror when you're running from this bonnet cam. Okay, car with a slow down. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Oh, I was looking at my mirror at the wrong point there. That's shocking. Even the mirror when you're in cockpit cam's pretty rubbish because it's kind of hidden away behind the leaderboard. The Mazda's not feeling, I'll being honest, I don't think the Mazda's feeling very good. I'm not enjoying the feeling, the handling feeling of this MX-5. And I've actually, I can't even say, oh well, that's, you know, that's just the car, because I don't know. Because I do like the feeling of the MX-5s generally on Gran Turismo 7, and I don't know what it is about this one right now. I don't know if it's anything to do with the new update. I don't know if it's just the circumstances, if it's the track I'm driving it around. But it's not feeling great fun to drive. It's not giving me that much feedback when I'm slowing down for the corners and getting turned in. Now I do have the ABS back on. I do wonder if it's something... The ABS has been tweaked slightly in the way that that behaves into the corners. So I do wonder if it's just getting used to that. I don't know. There's just something that doesn't feel that satisfying about this right now. Everything's feeling a little bit vague. Even when I'm losing the car, getting it sideways, it just feels a little bit too vague. Do with the slipstream now. Is that rain? Perfect, up to P6. Well, we're 7 seconds back, so we've recovered as much as we could have realistically done given the hardware issues we've experienced in this race. Not a bad recovery, I would say, overall. But here, I just want a bit more feeling mid-corner. Just getting a little bit numb. YouTube RF selling his PS5. Or selling their PS5, I should say. So there it was fine. So I don't know if it's because I was understeering slightly, but there I got that extra bit of feedback, I got that little bit of detail, I got the chuttering from the tyre sliding across the surface. So maybe it's just when I'm overdriving it a little bit, it's just the feeling begins to get a bit weird. A little bit sort of like less than natural, let's say. Vice, I don't know why your messages are deleting themselves. If that's what's going on. Alright, come on. Go for a purple lap on this last lap. We've got no slipstream, unfortunately. Don't know where the track limits are, so we're just going to hope that's okay. Going to be a very, very middle of the road P6, which is the best we could have done after that opening lap. What's done too much in too little of time? Sony has done too much. Sorry, I read that as sorry, that's why I was confused. Sony's done too much in too little of time. Interesting. Well, that was an eventful race. Mirrors do take up GPU resources, yeah. They are kind of important, though, for racing. or at least, you know, look at modern sim racing titles and their radars. Now, I know that's not authentic to have a radar, but I always make the argument that if having a radar in a racing sim actually feels more authentic than not having a radar. Because in a racing sim, unless you're in VR and you've got all your mirrors enabled and you can look around and hear from different corners, generally speaking, most people in sim racing are running a single monitor, sometimes triples, right? You're not running in VR most of the time. You cannot perceive with as much detail where the cars are around you. When you're racing in real life, like I've done plenty of years and years of MX-5 racing in real life, you do know where the cars are around you most of the time because you can constantly see the mirrors in your peripheral vision. You can hear the cars, so you can tell when they're just about on your bumper or not, and you can use your eyes to quickly glance. You can't do the same in sim racing, generally speaking. You have less senses going on, you have less feeling, you have less atmosphere. You can't feel the cars around you like you do in real life. So I actually argue that it does feel more authentic to have an inauthentic, whatever the word is, radar on the screen, giving you that additional sense. Yes, it's probably overkill. It's probably too much awareness of where the cars are around you. You can just drive on the radar, but that's always been my opinion. So I wonder if Gran Turismo will ever go for like a kind of PC sim racing style radar. Next race is that one again, and then the next one's not for another 17 minutes. So I don't really want to do another MX-5 race. I didn't think it was the most enjoyable race. Maybe if I was in a battle for the lead, it would have been better. But it's just kind of, you get hit in turn one, or you make a mistake, you don't qualify at the front, and then immediately you're kind of out of action. So anyway, there we go. We do have a couple of garage items which we'll take on. What have we got? Gifts. We have a 4-star and a 3-star roulette, so let's do the 3-star. Wonder what we're going to win. Let's see what the rewards are. Oh, it's going to be 5,000 credits. Or 10,000 credits. Which is it going to be? I think that's 10. It's 5 stacks. It's 10,000 credits. 4-star. It's going to be 10,000 credits again. Or it's going to be an exhaust for a car I never drive. I said that before I actually saw the silencer pop up, by the way. Ta-da! It's an exhaust for it. Oh! It's a car I do drive. Well, there you go. They caught me off guard. Not as predictable as you might think. Ah, interesting article. Yeah, good point, Todd. That is an interesting point. Yeah. For me, it's just like, I don't think about it unless I'm asked the question or I'm directly talking about a radar, but yeah. That is a good point. Good article. Good discussion point. And everyone will have an opinion. I might be not talking nonsense. There might be other racing drivers that are like, what are you on about? But that's just, yeah, my own personal opinion. Anyway, that is the Gran Turismo 7 1.71 major update. All of the information about today's update is available on the TraxionGG website. There is an article in the description if you want to read about all the patch notes and find out the details about the suspension changes and the force feedback tweaks and the torque differences and all of these things that I was able to semi-perceive in the game. Nothing massively transformative, but big improvements to the force feedback, granularity and the detail, and things like that with my DD Pro with its full force effect. And generally speaking, the cars all felt a little bit more lighter but more communicative is the way I would put it. Not easier to catch a slide and drift around, but a little bit more feeling when you do so. So potentially, theoretically easier. But yeah, interested to hear what everyone thinks. Sounds like it's gone down well with the general community. One thing that's not been good is the steering wheel going funky 3 times during that stream and needing to reset it. Don't know if that's a Fanatec app update issue, if it's a Gran Turismo related thing. It sounds like it's probably a Fanatec thing, but I don't want to speculate. So hopefully they get a little hotfix if that's the case, because I do love using the Fanatec stuff for Gran Turismo. It's really, really good, and it just works, generally speaking. So bit of a difference. That's the first time I've experienced something like that. But now you know. And yeah, some cool new cars. We've now got an Evo 10, an Evo 9, sorry, with 1,400 horsepower that actually works. That's cool. We've got a Caterham 7, which feels like the Westfield I used to race with 290 horsepower. And we've got one with a K-car engine, or a key car engine as well, which is good fun. And obviously a Chaser and a Mark II Toyota, one with a stupid engine too. So plenty of fun to be had. Interesting update. Intrigued to hear what everyone else thinks, of course. And thank you, as always, for joining me in the chat throughout this one. It's been good fun. And I look forward to crashing some more cars in Gran Turismo very, very soon. But I hope you have a good week. Enjoy the update. Enjoy whatever it is you're doing for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Our streams have been fantastic recently. I've had such a good time on the streams. The chat has been amazing. The views have been great. You guys have been getting properly involved. And I'm seeing so many familiar names popping up multiple times, which is obviously super appreciated by us. And we do see you. And we will, there's names that we'll see once or twice, and all of a sudden you start recognizing them, and then, we'll be able to get the crack. And it's been great. So very much appreciate your support. Thank you to everyone who's watching and not commenting as well. Your support does not go in any way unnoticed. We just don't necessarily know who you are. But a big shout out to all of you as well. And yeah, more content on the way. We have, I think, a very exciting video coming later today. It's Thursday, so it's main Traxion video day, generally speaking. We'll always try and put out a video at 5 PM on a Thursday unless other things have taken priority, whether it's an embargoed product or an embargoed video that changes the timing of the video. And obviously occasionally we might not have a Thursday video, but generally speaking, Thursday's our day, and I think today's one, for any of you sim racing fans out there, is going to be a good watch. I'm really looking forward to seeing how people find it, some interesting info in there. So yeah, we'll hopefully see you there today at 5 PM. Hit the notification bell and subscribe so that you don't miss the video. 5 PM UK time, that is. I know plenty of you are watching very early in the morning in the US and late into the night in Australia. So thank you for the support as always. And we will see you all very soon. Take care. Have a great week. Bye.